Beatz Media presents the Scoop and Score Football Show.
Hello everybody and welcome back here to the Scoop and Score Football Show, brought to you by Ball N Beatz Media. Episode number 5, and what a weekend. What a weekend we just went through.
It was fun. It was a good weekend.
College football is back. It's better than ever, and a legend went out undefeated. How about that?
Yeah, Lee Corso was out there shooting 100% from the field. He was shooting half courts, and they were just falling.
He didn't miss. He didn't miss a single pick. And the rest of the world, looking at it, probably was like, come on, man. What are you doing here? And, well, he was so right. He was so right. We just have to recap some of the chaos that we witnessed. We had our picks, right? Because we went shooting. I shot 60%. You shot 40%. That's okay. And that's okay.
Not a good day at the not a good day at the range.
That's why each week we have more chance to come back and see if we can get that 100%, you know? And that's okay.
We had more games this week.
We got more games this week we'll get into. We have some overreactions, not overreactions after week 1 of college football. We're going to get into some NFL news as well that, of course, drops the second we stop recording, and week 1 coming up from NFL. But before we get into that, you should subscribe to the channel.
Yep.
You should hit that push notification bell to stay up to date on all new videos. You should comment down below what things you want us to talk about more, maybe. Or maybe, just maybe, more show content? Let us know.
Give us any ideas.
Let us know.
That's what you guys want to see.
But you should subscribe because it's free. We don't ask for money. Nope. We're not beggars. Beggars can't be choosers. Okay? So subscribe.
If you want to donate, we won't get mad, but...
Exactly. As I'm going to pop the top on this Cream Soda Zevia, not sponsored. Shout out Josh Pate, by the way. He put me onto these. Not a sponsor of the show, but if Zevia wants to be a sponsor of the show...
Josh Pate had a rough weekend.
He had a very rough weekend, did he not?
0% from the field.
I can't lie, though. He put me onto these on his show because he always drinks these on his show because they're a sponsor of his show. And I'm not going to lie, they're delicious. Not a sponsor. But if you want to be Zevia, hit us up and let us know.
Nope.
All right, let's recap this week 1 for college football. We have to start, I think, at the noon game. We know the chaos that endured after, but the week 1 noon game, Texas, Ohio State, a defensive showdown, and, you know, Arch Manning did not look good.
Gut feeling, man. I told you.
You were right.
It's something that, like, and I have one this week too, so stick around for the end of the episode for that when we do our picks. No, Arch Manning looked terrific. He looked terrible. He did make some throws in the second half, but that first half might be one of the worst I've seen from a college quarterback since Drew Aller last year against Ohio State, who, you know, also is a little bit overrated. You know, for Arch Manning's, it's not his, like, it's his first career start. You know, he started against two nobodies, you know, last year, and this is his first time taking the reins at Austin for the Longhorns. I think he's going to be fine. I don't think that he is this terrible, terrible quarterback that looked terrible against the Buckeyes. I think the Buckeyes defense was just all over him, and I'll get to them in a second. But, you know, I want to get your thoughts on what you thought of Arch Manning. I think he's going to be fine. I think that this overreaction of people always, well, he might not win the Heisman, especially if he plays like that. But he looked like a freshman. Now, he's not a freshman, but he looked like he was playing like one. He's technically a redshirt sophomore, but it's his first career start. It's on the road at the national champions. It's 1 versus 3. You got to give him some grace. He was playing a really good defense, and that was my biggest surprise of the entire game was the Ohio State defense. It might be my biggest surprise of the whole college football day on Saturday. OSU's defense came out there and looked phenomenal. They looked like they didn't miss a beat. They didn't look like losing all those guys to the NFL messed with them at all. They had guys like Arvell Reese step up and have a great game.
He was my
David
player of the
Wilson
game.
had a great game. Caleb Downs is Caleb Downs. My one critique would be the defensive line. Didn't look amazing, but, you got time to figure that out against Grambling this week and the next few days. They had times where they were getting pressure on Arch Manning, and they did get home for a sack. But OSU's defense looked absolutely phenomenal. They really did. I mean, Matt Patricia, for as much as I can say about him, I hate that man.
Go on the
He had
field.
a great game. He had an absolutely great first game. It's what OSU needed. This was a defensive struggle. You knew this from a few drives into the first quarter that this was going to be a low-scoring game. And
Yes.
I think that did surprise some people, not me. It's two new quarterbacks, so they're not going to go out there and light the world on fire. But I was surprised at how well this defense played. I did have some question marks because of how much they lost, but man, this linebacking core of Sonny Styles, Lorenzo Styles, Arvell Reese is unreal. These guys can play. They are really good. I mean, we knew this about the Styles, but Arvell Reese really stepping up.
He was the
and
player of the
taking
game for me. I
Yes,
thought.
he was phenomenal.
The Cleveland Glenville product, former Tar Blooder. He's just a sophomore for Ohio State. That he's going to be around. He's going to be making plays all season long,
Yeah.
and for next year too. That's really what I was the most surprised about for that game too, was the defense, specifically the linebacking core in particular. We lost Cody Simon last year, Block O, where Sonny Styles is this year. Who was going to step up next to them? And Arvell Reese has obviously been that guy. You also saw Devin Sanchez get some snaps as a freshman in the secondary. We knew the secondary would be solid, and we knew the back end of the defense was going to be okay. The whole question mark was the defensive line.
Phenomenal too.
Gave up a touchdown. Could we say it was a touchdown?
It was close.
Here or there.
It was a great play.
One thing I will
there's
say-
not much more you can do. That was a great throw, and I'll give Arch Manning that. He
Yeah.
did have a few good throws in the second half, but he gave up 7 points. I mean, we can't nitpick all that much.
What I'll say about this weekend, I think the biggest thing I've learned is what is a catch. Again, I don't think I know, because
Yeah,
across
there was a few.
all games, there were catches that weren't catches. LSU lost a touchdown that looked like it was a clear-cut touchdown. Like, everywhere, every game had a catch that looked like it was not a catch or not a catch that was a catch. It was confusing yet again. But back on this Ohio State-Texas game, for me, for Arch Manning, I don't think it matters that much either. I mean, his first real start, it's his third career start, but his first real start against a real quality opponent, and it's on the road at the defending national champions' home stadium. You got to give him grace. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And sometimes a lot of the greats don't have good starts. I'm not saying he's going to be a great, not even alluding to that at all, but you got to give him grace. I mean, the expectation that this...
He didn't
Right.
have a good very first game at Minnesota.
And at Oregon, we were calling for Kyle McCord.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
People were calling for McCord to be the starter at that point, and it's
Yeah.
like, chill, relax.
Give him some time. He'll
But
be fine.
he was highly inaccurate, though, which was a shocker.
He was.
His throwing mechanics were off. He was throwing the ball in the dirt or too high.
He just never
even
looked
for open
comfortable.
up, he was never comfortable.
He just never looked comfortable, and especially that last drive. He had two guys wide open in the flat for a first down. He missed both of them. They both were open.
Yep.
The first one, there was a guy on him, to be fair, but the second one on that third down, he was wide open. He probably could have been close to getting a touchdown, and he missed them. That was a bad miss. Arch Manning had some really, really bad throws. He just never looked comfortable. He never looked like he got in a groove. But he also did make some good throws. That last drive, that throw, towards the sideline, that was a fantastic throw.
Yeah.
But he never got consistency, and I think that's the main thing I got from him. He had some good throws, and then he had some really bad throws. He just could never stay consistent with his throws. And I also got to say, Steve Sarkisian called a terrible game. Sarkisian from the goal line, you're calling a tush push? Really? You don't execute that. I don't. Teams that aren't the Eagles shouldn't be doing tush pushes because it never works. It doesn't work. And when it does, you get lucky.
Wasn't even a real tush push. It was just a normal sneak, and I think Ohio State's defensive line locked them down. You know, we had the question marks about that defensive line, but they did it then. They did it then.
Texas was 1 for 5 on 4th down. That's really bad.
Yeah.
And they got in the red zone twice and came away with 0 points.
Mm-hmm.
You got to give credit to the OSU defense, but you also got to say Texas offense has to be a lot better if they want to get. I still think they make the playoffs. I still think Texas is going to be fine. Arch Manning has, I think they got like 2 or 3 gimme games, and then they go to the swamp to play Florida. Just give him time. He'll be fine. But Sarkisian needs to be calling the game better. He had a lot of play calls that were really dumb. Especially that 4th down. That was like the 6-inch line. That wasn't even at the 1. That was at the 6-inch line. If you're gonna sneak, don't do it from the top. Go low. That's and they just chose the wrong one. And at the end of the day, OSU made the stop.
Yeah.
But I got to get. OSU's defense was phenomenal. Matt Patricia had a great first game as OSU's defensive coordinator. As much as I hate to say it. But Texas is going to be fine. They dropped down to 7 in the new AP poll. And OSU's 1. Penn State's 2. They took care of business. But at number 3, how about LSU, man? I don't think anybody thought the Tigers were going to go into Death Valley and beat the Tigers. I didn't.
I did not.
This Clemson team is built different. I mean, they got all types of dudes on that defensive line. They got Cade Klubnik. But I guess the one thing, man, Clemson's running game is horrific.
It's non-existent this year.
They have no good running backs this year. Their offensive line was not that good against LSU. I didn't get your thoughts because LSU surprised the hell out of me. Brian Kelly finally won a week 1 game at LSU, and he might have a team that can compete for the national title.
Legitimately.
I think that skyrockets their chances. Lee Corso picked them to win the Natty.
Lee Corso already went undefeated this weekend. He went out and called his shot. Is LSU going to be that team? For me,
Nussmeier looked pretty good.
The biggest surprise of the entire weekend was the LSU secondary. It was non-existent the last couple years. And Brian Kelly, I think, finally has a defense. Mansour Delane, the former Virginia Tech Hokie he got out of the transfer portal, was everywhere for them against Clemson. LSU looks legit. Aaron Anderson, their star receiver, legit. Nussmeier, legit. The defense, legit. This is a legit national championship contender. We both had them in the playoff, though, to be fair. We both had some people didn't have LSU at all in the playoff. We did have LSU making the playoff, both of us. They do have a tough schedule. We'll have to see throughout the remaining of the year, but going on the road to Clemson, the fake Death Valley, and showing who the real Death Valley actually is, you got to give them props. And both of us being very high on Clemson, it's more I got to react to the Clemson Tigers because the running game lackluster. The thing is, because of the run game being lackluster, it looks like they might have to rely on Klubnik a little bit too much this season, which could be a bit of a downfall for them.
And they have some tough games, too. I mean, they play at Georgia Tech. They play at South Carolina. They play Florida State, who's another team that, finally got a big win under the Mike Norvell era. And that looks like maybe that skyrockets them into a playoff berth with that win over Alabama, which we'll talk about in a bit. But, LSU looked great. They were down 10-3. They should have had that touchdown that was called back. But Nussmeier looked poised. Nussmeier looked like, he was comfortable. Now, he didn't have an amazing stat line, but he looked good. And I think at the end of the day, who cares if you win? This LSU defense was the storyline, obviously. It's a lot of defensive storylines this weekend because there was a lot of defensive games with these top games. They look great. And there's not much else you can say. Clemson did not look good at all. I am not feeling good about Clemson after that game. I know with Texas, I said they're going to be fine. I don't know if Clemson's going to be fine. I mean, they had a wide receiver as a running back out there. Their running back situation this year is terrible. They got no running backs worth a damn, and their offensive line isn't very good. While their defense is very good, and their defensive line is even better. It has 2 NFL guys on it.
Right.
They didn't give me any they didn't give me any hope for that they're going to get this right. I mean, they'll probably make the playoff. They don't have like a super hard schedule. They play some tough games, and they'll win one of them. But man, that was I didn't expect that, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
I saw Clemson was up 10-3, and I'm like, okay, Clemson should be able to take care of business. And LSU came back, and give credit to Brian Kelly. He's gone through a lot down there in Baton Rouge, but man, he's got a team this year. He's got a team that can do some damage, and LSU is going to be up there to win the SEC with Georgia, and Texas, and it's going to be fun, man. Good for LSU. That was a really good win. They needed something because it's been a while since they've had something like real to cheer about. They haven't had a really good defense like this in a few years.
Yes.
Especially under Brian Kelly. And I think this year is the year that they finally have that defense. And if they can just get Nussmeier, and I think he's going to be fine. Nussmeier honestly is going to be a top 5 pick at the end of the year if he keeps going like the way he is.
Right.
I mean, he's a projected top 5 pick. But I think Nussmeier is going to be great. I think this LSU team is going to be great. And I agree. I think LSU, we're going to get to our overreactions, but man, they impressed the hell out of me. And that's all I can say.
I think this game saved Paul Feinbaum from having a heart attack, to be honest with you, and having LSU win this game.
SEC, man.
Because that 3:30 game down in Tallahassee, and Tommy Castellanos and the Florida State Seminoles dog walking the Alabama Crimson Tide. This was the first ever Alabama game I've ever watched where I felt that they got out physicaled all game long.
They got out everything. They got out physical. They got out mental. They got out everything. And that's something uncharacteristic from an Alabama team. But I think we're still used to Nick Saban. And Kalen DeBoer is nowhere near Nick Saban. Kalen DeBoer's seat is getting hot. It's already hot. I don't care if we're not even 2 full years in. You can't be doing this at Alabama. I saw a stat. It was like Nick Saban was like 136-2 as a favorite and he's only lost 2 games, and Kalen DeBoer already has 4. So they don't take that stuff at Alabama lightly. I know their fans are pissed off because they got nothing else to root for in Alabama. You hate to see it. But Tyson didn't look good. The defense didn't look good. There was nothing on that field that felt inspired. And in the second half, it seems like they kind of just like let go and let Florida State do what they wanted to. Tommy Castellanos only completed 9 passes, but he did it. And Florida State, man, after going 2-10 last year, they look pretty good. And good for FSU. They had a really, really horrific year last year with DJ Ukulele. They got a quarterback. Tommy Castellanos looked really good from the transfer from Boston College.
Yes.
And I'm happy for him. That was a great win for FSU. I mean, they stormed the field.
Yes.
They haven't had, after going 13-0 and not making the playoffs, they've been down. They went 2-10 last year. Good for them. That was a really big program win, and a win that Mike Norvell absolutely needed. This man needed that win, and he got it. So we'll see what Florida State does from here on out. It's only week 1, so we can't say, they're going to win the ACC, but they're going to be up there. If they play like the way they did in Castellanos, just keeps getting better, who knows, man? FSU might make the playoff this year after going 2-10, which would be a crazy turnaround. But
sure.
Something that with the transfer portal, you can do now. You can win fast, and you can turn your seasons around fast. Good for FSU. And for Alabama, you absolutely hate to see it. You absolutely hate to see it. It breaks everyone's hearts to see Alabama looking like shit.
Yes. Tommy Castellanos, he didn't just talk the talk in the offseason. He ended up walking the walk in week 1.
That's the best feeling.
The way
talking all this and then winning.
He backed it up. He definitely backed it up, and I think that was the biggest concern from everybody on the outside looking in is like he went out there and he said they don't got Nick Saban no more to back them up. We're not scared of them. We're going to beat them. He's like, I've already done this at Boston College. Look what I'll do at Florida State. Well, week 1, he proved it and he backed it up. We'll have to see if it keeps on going for him throughout the rest of the season. About Alabama real quick. We got to talk about the downfall of Ryan Williams. Granted, Jeremiah
He
Smith
got
had a
hurt.
couple. Jeremiah Smith had a couple drop passes too. Ryan Williams had a few, but fun little nugget of information: he has not had a 100-yard receiving game since that Georgia game, and he hasn't had a touchdown since they played Mercer. So, which was not long after that game.
Well, I mean, it doesn't help when they had Jalen Milroe, who's a mobile quarterback who can barely throw the football out there at quarterback. And now they have Ty Simpson, who is not a mobile quarterback, but also can't throw the football. So
He was antsy. His offensive line
he
didn't
didn't
do him
look
any
good.
favors,
He
and
didn't look right.
I
He was
thought
offensive line.
that was the biggest
offensive line, which
surprise.
is the big story with Alabama, was supposed to be this good. You know, they got Caden Proctor and, you know, this great offensive line. They looked pedestrian at best. I mean, they didn't look amazing. Alabama's going to have a lot of question marks this year, man.
They got Georgia in a couple weeks in Athens.
They got Georgia, and I have no faith in Alabama to win that game. I don't. I don't see, unless Ty Simpson comes around and, you know, gets right and starts, and the offensive line tightens up and plays a lot better. It's so weird to see from Bama, man. But this isn't Nick Saban anymore. And it's got to be sickening him that, you know, he left Alabama in a great place, and Kalen DeBoer, I mean, 9-4 last year as your first year at Alabama, when you probably have a 10-11 win roster, to now, who knows? I mean, it might be an overreaction. I don't think they're going to make the playoff. If they play the way like they did against FSU, I don't think they make the playoff. But then again, this is week 1. They could get it right. We've seen teams lose.
You're already answering my first
absolute run.
You're answering my first question already of my overreaction, not overreactions. So we'll get to that at some point. But already answering it. Let's quickly, before we get into that, the convicts beat the Catholics. How about that? The run keeps continuing, and Notre Dame still keeps losing down in South Florida. Carson Beck looked really good. He looked poised. He looked comfortable. By the way, Miami has this year's Jeremiah Smith / Ryan Williams and Malachi Toney. That dude is electrifying when they got him the football. And C.J. Daniels, the LSU transfer, made a world of a difference. See, look, Carson Beck isn't that bad when his receivers can actually catch a ball.
Yeah. Miami looked good. They looked really good. And so did Notre Dame.
They did,
Both
yes.
these teams look really good. Notre Dame still looked good. C.J. Carr had a pretty good game for his first career start as a true freshman. He made some freshman throws, but he also made some great throws, and he was really mobile. I mean, he was running the ball, and he looked good doing it. I think Carr is going to be fine. I think Notre Dame's going to be fine. They don't really have a hard schedule this year. They play Texas A&M at home, and then I think that is, at least in these rankings,
I'll say for Notre Dame's
they play for the rest of the year.
It is, technically, but I will say on paper it's tougher than it looks because they play still at Arkansas. They still have, on paper, they only have one group of 5 school. Actually, I lied, 2 group of 5 schools on their entire schedule throughout the whole year. And it's Boise State, which, told you about South Florida and Byron Brown.
Yikes.
Like, did we really think Boise State was going to be... Did we really think...
Terrible.
Did we really
USF,
think...
man, shout out the Bulls. That is a great win. That is a team that, look out, man. That is a defining win, especially against Boise State.
Yes.
Boise State ain't going to sniff the top 25 the rest of the year. After
they have the Gators and the Hurricanes back to back.
They're not going to win either of those games, but they might give them a fight. Maybe they cover the spread. But, yeah, Miami looked really good. That defense looked very good. In the second half, they gave up some big plays, but that defense looks a lot better. And Carson Beck looked like an actual quarterback. I can never buy into the Miami hype, man.
You just have to wait till the beginning of November.
I can't do it yet because they did the same stuff last year where they go undefeated through like the first two months of the season, and then they absolutely collapse. I can't do it yet. Not yet. But they did look good. and they did beat Notre Dame for like the 1,000th time in Miami. I think both these teams looked very good after the first game. I know Notre Dame lost, but I'm still high on C.J. Carr. He looked very poised, and he made some good throws, and he made some freshman mistakes, but you're going to get that with a true freshman. Same with the one in Ann Arbor. But I don't know. I like where Notre Dame's heading. I know they lost, but I like the way that their schedule plays out. And with Miami, man, I can't believe in them yet. Not with Mario Cristobal, but I do think that they look very good, especially on defense. And Carson Beck proved a lot of people wrong on Sunday. And before we get to, the overreactions and stuff, we absolutely have to talk about this because it was the funniest thing the entire Labor Day weekend. Because I think everybody thought this was coming, except North Carolina fans.
Oh, absolutely.
Bill Belichick is an absolute disaster in Chapel Hill.
Hold on. Who picked the Tar Heels?
A solid TCU team, a good TCU team, not an amazing TCU team.
Let me remind folks real quick. Okay, two things. One, someone had TCU ranked in his preseason top 25, and they're still not ranked, but they will prove people wrong eventually. And two, who was the one who picked North Carolina this weekend?
Maybe I was buying into the Bill Belichick thing for 1 week. Maybe I didn't think he was going to get, ass blasted and, his, and all the old players and all the celebrities that were at this game. They went up 7-0, and the whole stadium was behind them. I mean, they were hyped.
And then
everything that could have gone wrong did. Their quarterback play was not very good. They had to switch to Max Johnson towards the end of the game, and he looked okay, I guess. But Josh Hoover and TCU looked very, very good. I mean, they went out there and they took care of business. And I don't know how this ends for UNC other than it's going to be a disaster. I don't think Bill Belichick is going to last over a year in UNC, to be honest with you. I think if this goes south and they go like 4-8, I think he's going to try to get out of that contract because I think it's only like a 3-year contract, and that's what his son's supposed to take over.
Something like that, yeah.
Belichick, I think that they had a clause to where his son is supposed to be the successor to him, but that looked rough, man. And Jordan Hudson was in the press box, all happy, and just watching him go. She might have to be calling the offensive plays here at some point, because anyone who thinks Freddie Kitchens can still call offensive plays should be highly mistaken and should be taking off college football. They look terrible. North Carolina's an absolute disaster, and you hate to see it. I was wrong.
Thing is, you got to understand, they have 72 new players this season on their roster. They have the biggest overturn out of anybody in college football. And if anyone thinks that North Carolina is actually going to work, it will be 2 or 3 years from now, and somehow Belichick's still their coach.
When Belichick is on the last year of yeah.
That's when it's going to work. It's not going to work this year. Gio Lopez, all love to Gio Lopez. It's bad when they post a graphic of him with his last completion in the time that it took place.
Dude, they had Ben, Kirk Herbstreit's dog, on a headset towards the end of the game.
Mm-hmm. They put him on right by the 2-minute warning. I was watching that. I'm like, that's crazy.
Warning. And that was funny. But yeah, North Carolina looked terrible.
It was brutal. It was brutal for anyone who's a Tar Heel fan, for sure.
I think, Bill Belichick, who knows, man? I don't think it's going to work out very well there. But.
It's too early to tell. Since you're here at this point in the video, guys, just take a quick 2-second break and hit the subscribe button. Please.
Yep.
It would help us out.
Push notification bell, hit like, subscribe, all that good stuff.
All the beautiful stuff. Do it. Let's get to our overreactions, or not overreactions. You already kind of dropped the first one. My first one is Alabama will miss the playoff. Overreaction or not an overreaction?
Not an overreaction. They still have a ton of tough games. They still play LSU. They still play. I believe they play Ole Miss.
Yeah, they play at Georgia in a couple weeks.
Play at Georgia in a couple weeks. Yeah, I don't. Yikes, man! It's gonna be a question. And Kalen DeBoer is gonna be fighting soon. It might not be this year, but if he don't make the playoff this year, he's gonna be fighting for his job next year. And it's only his second year. He should have stayed in Washington. He had everything in Washington.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like
And if I was a head coach,
would've worked
I
better.
don't think I could ever take like the Alabama football job because of how much pressure that is. If you lose one game, if you lose a game at Washington, they don't care. You lose 5 games at Washington, they don't care. If you lose 5 games at Alabama, you get burned on a stake. It'll be a whole ceremony for Crimson Tide fans with their cousins. But he's under a lot of pressure right now, and we'll see how it plays out. I don't think it's an overreaction.
Number 2, overreaction or not an overreaction? LSU will win the SEC.
Overreaction. I think it's just 1 week. LSU looked very good, but I'm still picking Georgia. I also think Texas is better.
Hey, Georgia played Marshall. That's a
They did, and LSU had a great win. LSU went on the road to Clemson and they got it done.
Mhm.
They looked great. But it's Brian Kelly, and I can't trust him yet. But I do think LSU is going to be up there for the SEC. But I think Georgia has a better team, and I think Texas has a better team. But we'll see.
overreaction or not overreaction. Number 3, Carson Beck is back.
Not an overreaction because I think that I agree with you. I think with Tony, I think he has receivers again at Miami, and I think that offense is going to be really good. Carson Beck is a solid quarterback to an above-average quarterback under the right system, and I think that the way he played, I think he's going to be very good this year. I don't think that's an overreaction. Beck surprised a lot of people, but I think that with that receiving core, Miami's going to be just fine.
I agree with you there. I really think that Carson Beck, I think people fail to remember and realize all the drama around Carson Beck the last year, really.
Yeah.
I mean, besides on the field stuff, he had the off the field situations, but he got hurt. Georgia had the highest.
Why Gunnar Stockton was starting in the playoff game last year.
Georgia had the highest drop rate out of any school in all of college football last season. They had like 40 or 45 drop passes somewhere around there last season, which is awful.
Yeah.
He had the off the field drama, which don't really matter when you're breaking down football, but that can play a role for how someone plays though, too.
Yeah.
So goes to Miami, gets that restart. Week 1 felt pretty good. I think you're right. But we'll have to keep on seeing. Number 4, overreaction or not an overreaction. Arch Manning's lackluster performance is a sign of things to come for the Texas Longhorns.
No overreaction. I think he'll be fine. I think he just needs. I mean, this is it's his first career start. He played against a bunch of nobodies last year. This is his first road test. It's against the national champions on the road in one of the most hostile environments in all of college football. He may have had some really bad throws, but he also had some really good throws. He was inconsistent, and he played like a freshman, even though he's a redshirt sophomore. I think he'll be fine. Just give him a few weeks to get ready. But talk to me after the Florida game in the Swamp, and if he goes out and looks like he did against Ohio State, we might be having a different answer. But for right now, I don't think it's an overreaction.
Number 5.
I do think it is, yeah.
Number 5, overreaction or not an overreaction. Florida State will battle for the ACC title.
The ACC isn't really that good, so yeah. The ACC is not a great conference, top-heavy wise. So I could see it, yeah. I mean, Florida State doesn't have an insanely tough schedule.
Yeah.
But they will play Florida, and I believe they play Florida and they play Miami. Yeah, they'll be up there. The ACC isn't that good, so I think that by default, if you're ranked, you'll be in the top 4. So yeah.
I just thought of another one in my head real quick because it's a school we haven't talked about. yet, but I was very impressed with their Week 1 performance. Utah and Tennessee, both of those schools, both of them.
Yeah, Nico, you still loving that decision to go to UCLA and play in front of 20 nerds in Westwood?
Right, exactly.
Terrible, terrible performance.
Devon Dampier is like that, though. And they did the same thing with Devon Dampier and his offensive coordinator from New Mexico. The same way that Oklahoma did it with John Mateer and Ben Arbuckle. It's the same situation. And Utah was lights out. But with Tennessee, too. That performance? Aguilar looked really good. He looked really good. So, overreaction or not an overreaction, Tennessee will have the same amount of wins they did last season.
Is that 8?
They went 9-3 or 10-2.
They went 10-2, yeah.
10-2 because they made the playoffs.
They won't win 10 games. No. I think that's an overreaction now. I mean, they played Syracuse. Syracuse isn't that good.
Not this year.
Not this year. They were last year, but not this year. We'll have to wait and see about the 10 wins thing. I don't think they will. They have a lot of tough games. Being in the SEC. Aguilar did look good, but I will say, I mean, Josh Heupel is a system works with quarterbacks.
Yeah,
You will be good as a quarterback under Josh Heupel's system. You will be very good.
correct.
And I think that with Joey Aguilar, he looked great. He had a lot of really good throws against Syracuse. But man, I bet you Nico. I cannot believe that Nico how bad he was at UCLA. Man, he regretting transferring from Tennessee. There's no way.
Did we really think it was going to go any other way?
No, UCLA is terrible.
For him in particular.
UCLA is horrific. Like, they are terrible. They have nothing over there. They have the Rose Bowl. Nothing that they play in. They have nothing out there. No talent, no nothing. It's going to be a sad year over there.
My last one, number 7, overreaction or not an overreaction. Week 1, hold on. Week 1 outcomes will not matter when it comes to December.
No, because you get tie-breaking wins. I think that with these wins, like Ohio State and Texas, OSU and Texas are going to be at the top of the rankings for the most part, and I think that with OSU's win over Texas, they will obviously jump them. I think the same with Miami and Notre Dame. If Miami decides to go on a run this year and actually make it, and LSU and Clemson will, be at the top as well. And LSU will have that tie-breaking win over Clemson. And I think that means something. It is only week 1, and it's still a long season. But those early season non-conference wins mean something to everybody except Kurt Cignetti. And I think that with these wins, it's going to catapult them, and it's going to give them the edge come December.
Gotcha, sir. Let's do our college football picks first before we get into our NFL breakdowns.
Okay.
Let's start off here. First game of the weekend. Got Western Kentucky, the Hilltoppers, coming into Toledo. Toledo trying to avenge.
The biggest party in Toledo. Opening day.
It is the biggest party in Toledo. You've got, I believe, the mayor going to be in the dunk tank. I'm pretty certain. I can't remember.
Capsicavage, nice.
I think Capsicavage. Or it's the UT. It's the UT president. That's who it is.
Oh, the new guy.
The new president.
The cornball. Yeah.
Toledo 6.5-point favorites at home. Trying to get a win and avenge a loss last season in a massive rain delay that really changed the outcome and momentum of that game down in Bowling Green, Kentucky.
That was nuts.
Who you got?
That old game last year was crazy. And the broadcast was even worse. That was one of the worst college football broadcasts I've ever seen in my life.
I'm not going to lie. Whoever they had in the booth was very biased.
A, B, or C. That was all the way down at the bottom. That was okay. These guys are somewhat qualified, I think. Yeah, throw them up there. I don't know, man. Toledo burned me last week. I know they went to Kentucky. Kentucky's really not that good of an SEC team. I'll pick Toledo. I think Western Kentucky's going to be good. I think this is going to be a great game.
Do they cover?
No, I think it's going to be a 3-point game. I'll say like 24-21 or 27-24, one of those two. The Hilltoppers are good, but I think Toledo edges it out at the end. I'll give it to Toledo.
See, my goal this year is to go undefeated in all Toledo games, right? It's my goal. I'm 1-0 so far because I wasn't buying into the go down to Kentucky and winning it because everyone else was doing it. When everyone else is picking Toledo to upset someone, I like to take pause and then reflect.
Everyone was picking them to beat Mississippi State last year.
But this year, it's Kentucky. I don't know why. I feel like Kentucky was just better than Mississippi State was last year. And that's okay. This time around, they're going to win and they're going to cover. Screw the Hilltoppers. Not really screw the Hilltoppers. I love you, Western Kentucky. We all love you here. But Toledo's going to win and they're going to cover. I think that they have kind of a revenge mindset coming into this ball game against Western Kentucky. The defense needs to play. The secondary played as good as I thought they would against Kentucky. Defensive line needs to step up a little bit this week. The running game needs to get a little bit better. It wasn't as good as it was, or people thought it could be with Chip Trayanum coming in, but you're playing against an SEC defensive line. You're playing against Conference USA one in week 2. Toledo covers the spread, wins outright.
All right, number 11, Illinois, favored by 2.5. Heads to Durham to play the Duke Blue Devils. I think this is going to be a great game. I think this is a testament to both teams. I picked Illinois to make the playoffs this year, so I'm going to be picking Illinois to go on the road and beat Duke. But I do think that this is going to be a great game, and I would not be surprised if Duke won this game. I think Duke's going to be underrated in the ACC. I like their quarterback.
Darian Mensah, the $4 million quarterback down there in Durham, North Carolina. He played really good. Granted, they played Elon, the Phoenix, the school that's actually right across from Duke. Fun fact. They're pretty much right by each other. Yeah, I agree with you. Give me Illinois. They're only 2.5 point spread favorites. It's really almost a pick 'em for this game. But I like Illinois on the road. I mean, the returning pieces they have. Granted, I think Darian Mensah's a very talented quarterback. I just think all in all, the Illinois roster is just better. So give me the Fighting Illini.
Up next is Cyhawk Trophy. Woo!
Sorry, I sneezed.
Oh, I just heard woo. I didn't hear the sneeze. I was like, okay,
I went woo after the sneeze.
Someone's excited. All right.
I'm very excited for this. Though it's the Cyhawk Trophy. Come on now, are you kidding me?
Iowa at 16, Iowa State. Iowa State is favored by 3.5. You're high on Iowa this year with their quarterback. Their quarterback didn't look that great in his first outing with Gronowski. But I think he got hurt too. So
that wouldn't help, right?
Rocco backed a lot. I like this Iowa State team. I like the way they're playing. They had a big win against Kansas State in Dublin.
Was it really big? Kansas State had the win in the final.
They got a ranked win, and I know Kansas State barely beat
North Dakota.
Dakota.
Not the Bison, but the other North Dakota.
The
Fighting Eagles? Hawks or something. I don't remember.
Fighting Hawks, yeah. I know there's some bird. I'm gonna go with Iowa State. It's at Iowa State. I trust Rocco backed a lot more than I trust Gronowski. And I think the Cyclones are going to make a run again in the Big 12. So, go Clones. And Matt Campbell. So,
listen. Iowa State's...
The Asa Bowl.
Iowa State... This is the Asa Bowl, actually. In fact, Asa, if you're watching this right now... Hi.
Hello, Asa. Go Cyclone.
Is this heaven? No. It's Iowa. It doesn't say Iowa State when they say that, right? For that reason, give me the Hawkeyes.
Oh, okay.
In reality, I am actually going to pick Iowa over Iowa State. Just because. No real proof. No real nothing. Just that I'm high on Iowa. And I'm high on the fact that I think they'll be better than Iowa State. Granted, Iowa State will probably, if they win this game, it'll be like a 12-9, nothing but field goals.
Yeah.
Kind of game. But It is in Ames, but Iowa's had good track record recently going on the road and beating them. So I'm going to go with the Hawkeyes to upset the Cyclones outright.
It'd be a 10-7 final.
Be beautiful. Just
next
like what they asked.
game is another rivalry game that's being renewed for the first time since 2011, the border war between Kansas and Missouri. This game is being played in Columbia. Bo Perbula looked pretty good in his first outing. I like this Missouri team. Kansas under 20th year senior Jalen Daniels. They looked good too. They're 2-0. But I'm picking Missouri. This game's in Columbia. I think Kansas is. I don't know. Lance Leipold is a really good head coach, but he can never just have Kansas take that next step.
That's one program in general that it feels like it's very hard to do that with, no matter who would be your coach.
It is. I mean, but they just got a brand new stadium. I mean, it looks great.
They're investing millions upon millions of dollars into that football program too.
Football team, and now it's time to win. So,
yeah, for me, I'm going Missouri as well, -6.5. In fact, this is going to be my lock of the week. Missouri will beat Kansas in the border war here. I was highly impressed with Bo Perbula in his first week. Granted, they were supposed to play another quarterback. His very first snap he came into, got injured. It's Bo Perbula's team. I think everyone kind of felt like it was going to be that anyway. But I was really impressed. I forgot who they played. It was like Central Arkansas or something. It's whatever. FCS school. Missouri, I'm very high on Missouri. I'm not as high as others have been. I think some people think Missouri can be a dark horse SEC contender this year.
SEC is way too good.
But I think Missouri wins this comfortably at home, and I think they cover the spread.
Next game, it seems like OU always has a big name come into Athens. And this year it's West Virginia.
It's crazy.
Virginia's favored by 3.5 as they head to Athens, Ohio to play the Bobcats. Ohio looked pretty good in their first game. They took Rutgers down to the wire. Rutgers should be in the Sun Belt. I mean, they legitimately bring nothing to the Big Ten.
They bring the New York market. Nothing. Come on now. You know what they bring. It's
nobody watches
viewership.
Rutgers games.
What do you mean no one watch? I would watch Pee Wee football on national television if I could. Okay. I would watch.
Rutgers football is so boring. This is year 6 of
they bring the birth.
They've gone better than 7-5.
They bring the birthplace of college football. Are you kidding me?
Cool. You want to bring in Princeton too, since they were also the birthplace of college football?
Yes, might as well.
You want to bring an Ivy League school?
I'm just waiting for the Big Ten map commercial to then just go overseas eventually. That's my goal for the Big Ten. We're talking
of London.
Yes, University of Oxford versus Toronto for the Big Ten championship.
University of Toronto in there. But anyway, back to the games. West Virginia at OU. I'm gonna pick OU. They seem to win these games for some odd reason. It's always these low-tier Big Four school or conference. Conference 4 schools.
I got you. I'll fix it for you. It's Power 4. There you go.
I'm going to pick OU, though. So, I'm going to go with the MAC. Return of the MAC.
Parker Navarro was unreal against Rutgers. I can't lie.
Against Ohio State in 2 weeks.
He does.
On Saturday night.
Will the real Ohio win?
It's always a MAC school.
And see, here's the thing, right? Watching Ohio almost beat Rutgers and say they beat the Mountaineers, that game's deserving of a primetime game in Columbus, Ohio, okay? You better believe it. Parker Navarro's coming in to make some mayhem in Columbus. Right. I'm hammering it down with you. This game is in Athens. This is not in Morgantown. Give me the Bobcats over the Mountaineers.
Yeah,
if this was Morgantown, I'm picking
they always have a game
West Virginia, but
it's so odd. Like, OU gets, they get big schools to play in Athens. They had Iowa State a few years ago. They beat Iowa State.
Yep.
I think it was either last year or the year prior. But yeah, I'm picking the Bobcats. Got to back the MAC, baby.
Back the MAC, although they want to back-end us into the Sun Belt. We're not going to forget that, Ohio, okay? We knew about that flirting with the Sun Belt situation. Don't do it.
That'd be a down.
Don't do it. Although, we're not going to spread Toledo to the American or Big 12 propaganda on this show either. That's not what we're here for. Anyway.
Go to the American. I'd love that. Getting Tulane here.
We're not backing that. It's all Mac love, okay?
I love
We're not
the Mac,
spreading.
but
We're
the
not
Mac is
spreading
disintegrating,
propaganda.
and
We
IU's
are
leaving.
We are
UMass.
we are not
UMass.
spreading anti-Mac propaganda on the
UMass.
Scoop and Score
It's
football
terrible.
show.
It brings
None. Stay put.
No, I love the Mac, but we're bringing UMass.
Brian Blair, if
stop.
you're listening, I know what
All
you're
right.
trying to do.
The
No.
only game of the week, pretty much. Number 15, Michigan, at number 18, Oklahoma. Oklahoma's favored by 4.5. I'm telling you what, both these teams looked impressive. I know they didn't play anybody. Michigan, Bryce Underwood looked pretty good. And he played New Mexico, who I think is like 130th pass defense. And they're terrible. They have nobody on that defense. But they scored 17 points. So how about that? In Oklahoma, John Mateer threw for almost like 400 yards against a nobody. This is going to be a really good game. And this is a trajectory game for both teams, because if Michigan wins, that's going to catapult their season, and same with Oklahoma. But I had a gut feeling Ohio State was going to win last week, and they ended up doing it. And for some reason, I have a gut feeling Michigan's going to win this week. And I don't want them to. I want them to lose. But for some reason, I just think Michigan's going to get it done. I love their running back of Justice Haynes. He looked great.
I think that's your gut feeling, was watching him against New Mexico, and it's like, oh no, I think they may actually have their real best running back.
Bryce Underwood looked very good, and he played nobody. But for a true freshman, he looked comfortable out there. He looked poised. And I tell you what, when he throws, he can throw bullets. I mean, he can throw some hard fastballs, 105 miles an hour, right to the receiver.
Yeah.
So for some reason, I'm going to back Michigan in this week. I think that they're going to go to Norman. I think they're going to get it done, and I think it's going to be another top 5, top 10 matchup of OSU Michigan at the end of the year.
For me, I've been going back and forth on this game. And in fact, out of all the picks we've had this year, this game for me has been the actual hardest one to pick, because you had week 1, both teams playing really no one, so it's not a real test. And you're talking about two teams in different situations, although I feel like they're very comparable of each other. You have one coach who really needs to take that next step this year or else kind of thing.
Yeah.
In Norman. Then in Michigan, you have the hype of a true freshman quarterback, number 1 overall prospect coming out of high school. Running game revamped. Defense is still solid. This one's hard for me to pick, and even then, on my paper, it's actually different than what I originally wrote or what I'm going to say, because I have no idea. I'm buying into the choo-choo train of the boomer sooner. I don't think they cover, though. I don't think they cover the spread. But give me Oklahoma at home. I am buying into John Mateer and Ben Arbuckle helping to turn the ship here at Oklahoma. Michigan, their running game was very impressive. I can't lie. Justice Haynes, he looks to be an absolute stud. The Bama transfer, he didn't really find his footing in Alabama, but going up to Michigan, they had just let him loose a little bit. And Jordan Marshall's still a good quality back for them, too. But I'm buying into Oklahoma. And it's in Norman, and that's the only reason I'm going with Oklahoma. Confidence level, -0, if that's a possibility. But give me the Sooners at home. They don't cover. Ends winning by 3.
Score prediction?
It's going to be a higher scoring game, I think, a little bit. I think Oklahoma's going to be able to score some points. Give me 31-28.
All right, that's our college football segment. Let's get to the National Football League. Because
if you've been under a rock, if you've been under a rock,
yeah.
Newsflash: Micah Parsons is a Packer. How's that feel, Spence?
Never ends with this damn team. This team will never die. This team is like the devil, man. It just keeps coming back. They never die, and it's not fair. They will never see a bad team in their life.
It's okay.
But in all honesty, it's a risky, but if it pays off, it's going to be a hell of a move for the Packers. They gave up Kenny Clark and 2 first-round picks. Kenny Clark is their run stuffer up the middle, who was a captain, and they gave up 2 first-round picks for arguably the best defensive player in all of football. He is hurt. I mean, he has like some back pains though, and he's got to be getting some injections for the first week. But I think he'll be fine. I know that some people are worried about it. I think it's smoke screens. I don't think the Packers would have traded for him if this would have been that severe of an issue in his back pains.
Yeah.
It's something along the lines of it's anywhere but the Packers, man. It could have legitimately been anywhere. Go to Buffalo, go to Baltimore, come to Detroit, go to the Bears. Honestly, I just not Green Bay, and of course it happens that he goes to Green Bay. It's a boomer bust move. I mean, they're gonna have a really good defensive line. Their D tackle core now isn't the greatest up the middle. But
no,
it's a move that if it pays off, this is going to be a really, really tough defense to get by. And I think Micah Parsons brings a whole new dynamic to that defense. He's a linebacker edge hybrid. We've seen him in Dallas.
Yep.
And the thing is, the storyline to me is not the Packers. The storyline to me is Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys, because Jerry Jones decides against paying Micah Parsons. Okay, don't know why you would. He is arguably a top 10 player in all of football. He's one of the best defensive players in all of football. $47 million is a lot of money what the Packers gave him. I mean, they are going all in.
Big
they're
time.
not going to have any money to pay any of these young players in a few years. So they're going all in on a 2-year window probably. But you go out and you pay Deron Bland
right after
at $96 million. You pay Deron Bland, who is an okay corner, but
crazy.
Only has a name for himself because of pick sixes. He had a insanity run of like 5 or 6 pick sixes last year, 2 years ago. And you don't play arguably one of the most versatile defenders, one of the most electric defensive players in all of football, for Deron Bland. This team is going to get absolutely obliterated in Philadelphia. They're going to get smacked. And nobody deserves it more than Jerry Jones.
Yes.
Jerry Jones, to me, after he dealt him to the Packers, he is public enemy number 1. I hate this man. He caused me more worriment and more pain sending him to the NFC North, and especially to that team that resides in the middle of bum nowhere in Green Bay, Wisconsin. And now, what is your plan? What is Dallas's plan? Like
their plan? Let me tell you what their plan is.
You have draft picks to get young players. That's going to be picked 24 to 32.
He's going to try. Here's what it is, okay? He is plotting the Dallas Mavericks situation and get his quarterback at number 1 overall. Hey, I'm just kidding. That's not really going to happen. But it's a Jerry Jones.
You paid Dak for. Dak's got 4 more years on his deal for $60 million. You can't get rid of him yet unless you're just going to cut him and take all the dead cap.
It's Jerry Jones. He'll do what he wants anyway.
Can he just die already?
No, that's crazy. That's crazy to say. We're not going to. Why be tired of it? Hold on. Don't be tired of it.
You don't make this deal to the Packers.
That's why you're tired of it, Spence.
Have a rivalry.
That's why you're tired of it. Because it went to Green Bay. If it went anywhere else, you wouldn't be tired of it. You'd be saying, Jerry Jones, please live forever. Please live forever.
It's a stupid move. It's a stupid move.
Oh, it might be. It might end up being one of the dumbest moves that we've ever seen when it comes to.
It's a stupid move. You traded your best player in years.
It's okay.
I'd argue he's more valuable than CeeDee Lamb. He's more valuable than Dak Prescott because you don't see a lot of players like him come around. I mean, he's a generational type of talent on that defensive side of the ball. And you trade him to Green Bay for essentially nothing. Kenny Clark is 30 years old, and he's a good run stuffer. That is just about it. He might get you 1 sack a year. You got 2 first-round picks who are going to be picked late first-round picks, 24 to 32. Not all you can draft all you want, but Dallas hasn't had a great track record of drafting in the past few years with Jerry Jones. This is a stupid move from Dallas. Jerry Jones needs to just be done, dude. It is over. Give the reins up to somebody who knows what the hell they're doing, because you don't know anymore. You don't have Jimmy Johnson as your head coach. Like, stop. You have no credibility. Nobody in the league likes you. Nobody in the league respects you anymore because of what you've done. And I know, yes, it's Green Bay. Like, they trade him to Green Bay. That's another reason why I'm, like, all up in arms about this. You trade him to a rival. Like, Green Bay and Dallas play each other in Dallas week 4 on Sunday Night Football.
This
Green Bay, how many boos are going to be when Micah Parsons comes out?
Oh,
in
yeah.
A green number 1 jersey and Jerry Jones is up there. I can't wait. I can't wait to see Jerry Jones' reaction. I hope Micah Parsons gets 7 sacks against Dak Prescott. That'll be the one time I cheer for Green Bay this year is against Dallas. I hope the Packers obliterate the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football, and I hope Micah Parsons goes off because Jerry Jones deserves all of it.
Yes.
He's a moron. He's an idiot. And the fact that he made this deal and then signed Ron Bland, who is overrated as hell, is hilarious and annoying at the same time. And now I have to deal with Micah Parsons for 2 times a year in my division for the next 4 years. Thank you, Jerry. I hope you rot in hell, you moron. You are stupid, and nobody in Dallas likes you anymore. You have lost all credibility of the fan base. And when your team goes out there and goes 5-12, and you look around like, oh yeah, we did it the Cowboy way. We're gonna really get our quarterback this year, and we're gonna make things better here in Dallas. You got nothing. You have nothing. Dallas has no future. They have nothing. Micah Parsons was your leader on that defense. You have CeeDee Lamb. You have Dak Prescott. What else do you have? You have nothing. You have an unproven offensive line. You have George Pickens, who's a diva.
Gotta mute myself again.
Talk to me if you heard that one before. And you have a defense largely made up of nobodies and nothings and unprovens. You better hope to hell that you guys don't go 5-12 this year, or else there's going to be everybody in AT&T Stadium's going to go to Jerry's door. And they're going to have pitchforks. They're going to have all types of stuff. Texas is weird, so I don't know what they would have down there. Maybe they'll be riding up in horses. Who knows? But this is one of the worst deals I've ever seen in my life. And the fact that Jerry Jones went out in a press conference later that day and said, I think we got better. You know, I think that we wanted to stop the run. And I think that with adding Kenny Clark is going to really help this football team in the future. And with those first-round picks, we're going to really get our defense and our offense some future pieces to get the Cowboys back to where we know we can be. You're going to do nothing with them. They're going to be late. Both of those Packers picks are going to be late first-round picks. And the early picks, whatever you do, you don't have a track record of drafting worth a damn in the past few years. You've drafted a bunch of offensive linemen who have been largely okay to mediocre. You haven't drafted any stars. Nothing. So, you hate to see it. Dallas is going to be terrible for a long time. I don't think anybody is sorry for it. And Cowboys fans are going to, at one point, get fed up. And I think they already are. I think Cowboys fans are done.
All I'm going to say is I think my prediction was correct with our NFC breakdowns. That's all I got to allude to.
Yeah, 12. I said it, 12-5. The Packers get Micah Parsons. They're going to go 12-5.
12-5 there,
but the Packers will be fighting it out, and Week 1 makes it even more.
But I think I'm fully correct with the Cowboys finishing dead last in the NFC East.
Oh yeah, now yes, absolutely, absolutely.
It's hilarious. I can't lie to you, bro. That Jerry Jones impersonation was pristine. I had to mute myself a couple times, but hey, that was pretty good. We should clip that, by the way. If anyone's out there watching, clip this for TikTok, because that was pristine.
It's Green Bay, man. Every single time.
The real question is, Spencer,
from nowhere.
Why does stuff like this always pop off this same day we record, but later on? Like the Micah Parsons
I don't
situation,
know.
we recorded
It'll probably
earlier
come
that
out
Wednesday.
It'll probably come out that the Lions traded Aiden Hutchinson to the Bears for a
Yeah.
second round pick in I don't know, Chicago deep dish or something like that. Right after we get done recording on my luck. So.
But it's happened every time. Like every time after we've recorded, we've had some news come, and then we're like, "Oh yeah, newsflash!" A week later, we need to start. We're gonna start doing reactions if we can right away. We're just gonna have to.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to at this point.
Especially if something like this happens again, we'll definitely have that. I know we talked about it, but we never got through. But we
thought about it. We thought about doing an emergency one, but we should start doing emergency ones when we can. Which I think we might start doing. We might start doing some Sunday night ones. Who knows?
Yeah, probably.
Might start doing those. Can't this week, but we'll get to it. Yeah. Micah Parsons, congratulations on taking the Green Bay Packers.
Well, what was your dad's reaction?
Here you go.
Big Cowboys fan.
Here you go. I'll paint the scene, right? I'm sitting right here at my desk, working on some stuff, looking at some things. See a notification pop up on my phone. See it's Adam Schefter from ESPN. I look at it, just says notification. I swipe up to see on my phone more. I look at it, it says Micah Parsons has been traded to the Green Bay Packers. In my head, I go, LOL, in my brain, storm downstairs. Mind you, little did I know my dad is in the shower as we speak. So I bust into the bedroom. And I'm like, hey,
busted in. Dad, open the shower door.
Basically, he's in the shower, and I'm yelling to him in the shower, hey, Dad, Micah Parsons just got traded. He's a Green Bay Packer. He's like, I don't want to hear that right now. And then,
you heard it.
And then I'd made sure to turn on NFL Network on the main TV for him, so when he walked out, he got to see Ian Rappaport and Tom Pelissero break it down.
One of the most stupid trades I've ever seen.
He basically, after the storm kind of came over, he said, Logan, I'm a Cardinals fan now. As a joke.
What?
As a joke. He was just throwing out some teams.
I was going to say, that's a random team to be a fan of. He can be a Lions fan.
I don't think he'd want to be a Lions fan.
I just remember Dallas is coming to Detroit this year.
Yes, they are.
I can't wait for that.
Yes, they are. It's all right. And the real America's real team is coming to Detroit week 4. Don't you worry about that. Okay? The real America's team is coming to Detroit in week 4. Okay? But here we are. Week 1. Week 1 for NFL season is now here. No holdouts. Well, I guess except maybe a running back that's yet to be signed by the Browns. Yikes! Or
yeah, what's going to happen with that?
I think he's going to sign a contract, and it sounds like they might get a contract signed this week.
So I need to know if I need to drop him or if I need to keep him.
It sounds like a contract's probably going to be agreed to at some point this week. Grant, he might not be used at all week 1. Maybe he is. But I think a deal. In fact, that's probably going to be the news. That's probably going to be the news that drops after we stop recording. Is that Quinshon Judkins has signed his rookie contract? But I don't know. We'll have to see with the whole Quinshon situation. But we're finally here. Week 1 starts tomorrow. At the time of this recording, you would have already seen the Cowboys get obliterated on Thursday Night Football against the Eagles. But
I hope they do. I hope they do. I'm gonna. My sister is a massive Eagles fan. I hope they absolutely beat the piss out of them. And I can't wait. Football's back, so I also.
Football's back.
It's great too.
It's back and it's better than ever. Let's get into these picks for the NFL. I think we should. I mean. Already kind of alluded.
Eagles minus 8.5. I would take Eagles minus 45.5, and I would still bet the Eagles. I am betting. I'm going with the Eagles, and I hope Jalen Hurts and Saquon. I hope they combine for 1,000 yards rushing, receiving, passing. I don't care. Do it all. Obliterate this team. Put this team into hell. Go Birds.
Fly, Eagles, fly. On the road to victory.
Oh, legitimately, even with Micah Parsons, I would still pick the Eagles.
Oh, still with Micah Parsons, I'm picking the Eagles. This game is in Philadelphia, celebrating a Super Bowl trophy.
Yep. Not everybody can crash the party like the Lions when they went to Kansas City and crashed the party for them. So.
Right. Yeah, Dallas, I'm not going to lie for you, it's going to be a rough season. It was already going to be a rough season, but now it's really going to be a...
being them last place now, 5-12. I think Giants 6-7 wins.
I think it's going to be an even rougher season for you guys. Give me the Eagles -8.5 at home. I think that Dallas, any possible momentum Dallas could have had, he just completely
shot it down.
Completely.
Deron Bland really helped out this team. I think we're really gonna, turn some people's heads. Deron Bland sucks. He got lucky with 6 pick sixes. No, pay him. Just don't pay, Micah Parsons, best player in years. A Lawrence Taylor type-esque player who's 26 years old.
That's bold.
Whatever, dude. Go screw yourself, Jerry. All right, Chiefs -3.5 at the Chargers. This game's being played in Brazil, and it's a free game, so people can watch it on YouTube for free, which I think is really cool.
Fire. Shout out YouTube.
That the NFL allowed to do that.
You know what else they can do on YouTube, Spencer? Stingy. You know what else they can do on YouTube, Spencer? They can watch this for free, and you guys should subscribe to the channel.
Nice plug.
Right now.
Yep.
All right, back to that.
The Chiefs are favored by 3.5 against the Chargers. I can't pick against the Chiefs, man. I just can't. I know it's the hot pick to go with the Chargers or to go with the Broncos, and for some insane people, the Raiders. But I can't pick against Kansas City just yet. I just can't. Also, I have Mahomes on my fantasy team, so please get over 20, dude. So,
which is wild. Went out of his way to draft Patrick Mahomes.
You said what?
Said went out of his way to draft Patrick Mahomes. It's crazy.
Caleb Williams as your starter, dude.
Y'all were too busy. Okay, newsflash for any of you fantasy football fans out there. We went on a rush of 6 straight quarterbacks getting picked.
Yeah, it was bad.
Okay, he said, I drafted
Stroud
Caleb
was
Williams
before Mahomes, and I have the draft board here. I just folded it up, but yeah, it was nuts.
It was otherworldly.
I'm like, okay, I guess we're drafting.
So I had to draft Caleb Williams at that point. He was the best dude on the board when I drafted him in round 6 or 7. But anyway, Chargers Chiefs in Sao Paulo, Brazil, second year in a row. Fun fact, little nugget of information: no Brazil game next year. No Friday night game, I don't think, because of some infringement problems that they're having with the NFL. So no 2026 Friday night game week 1. That's what it sounds like.
The part of Brazil they're in is not very good.
It's not.
The game last year was great, though.
It was.
Packers and Eagles.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think this game will be good, too.
This game will be really good. I'm going with the Chargers. I think because it's not in Arrowhead, you're overseas. There's no real, home field advantage. Well, there's going to be, it's a good point.
It's just going to be people. It's just going to be fans of no teams that are just going to be loud.
Mm-hmm.
Mahomes! Yeah,
oh my God, look at it. Makes me feel a little Mahomey today. No, give me the Chargers. I think because of this being on the road, I think the ground and pound that Justin Herbert will not Justin Herbert, Coach Harbaugh will try to establish with this roster will work on this Kansas City defensive line. I have question marks still on the Chiefs offensive line. They got youth, but I just don't think it's probably the worst unit to start a year that Kansas City has had with Mahomes at quarterback. So I have question marks there, and Chargers still have Khalil Mack. They still have more pieces on that defense. Give me the Chargers in week 1.
All right, next game, the Monday night game. The Minnesota Vikings favored by 1.5. This is essentially a pick 'em. At Chicago for Ben Johnson's season opener. I'm going to pick the Bears here. I think the Vikings will be solid this year. I don't think they'll be great. And the Bears, I don't think will be as hype as everyone thinks they will be.
Yeah.
I still think the Bears finish 4th, but I will pick the Bears to win this game. I think that the Bears will start out 1-0.
I agree with you. Give me Chicago to win here in week 1 at home against Minnesota. I think they will start off the year strong. If this game was in Minnesota, I probably would have flipped it the other way because I like Minnesota's roster.
It's whatever home team there is. But what I want people to watch out for is Luther Burden.
Yes.
Luther Burden, I think, will have a very solid year. I think he's like wide receiver 3 right now because of Odunze being second. But I think as the season goes on, I think Luther Burden will be getting more touches. And I think Colston Lakeland will have a really good year as well. But yeah. All right, the next game. This is a fantastic.
It's beautiful.
The Ravens head to Buffalo to play the Bills. The Bills are favored by 1.5. Yeah, this is a great start to the season. There's a lot of really good matchups. This is a tough game for me. The game was in Baltimore last year, and the Ravens just beat the brakes off of the Bills. But this game's in Buffalo this year, and for some reason, I just think the Bills are going to win. I think the Ravens are going to finish 1 or 2. Probably, I think that they'll finish 1 or 2. I think these are the top 2 teams in the AFC. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
I think these are the top 2 teams in the AFC, but I do think Buffalo will win this game just because it's in Buffalo.
I agree with you, but I also think you got to remember a playoff game that just happened and how it ended. Up in Buffalo in the divisional. Shout out Mark Andrews. I'm going to throw this out there. No one's really talked about it too much. I think Isaiah Likely is going to become their tight end 1 by the end of this year, and I think he's going to.
Andrews has regressed a lot. Yeah.
He has regressed a big amount, but I also just think Likely will just pop off. Fantasy owners out there, if you're looking for a tight end that might be a sneaky pick, Isaiah Likely's your answer. I know this game's in Buffalo. I'm just that high on Baltimore this year, coming into the year. I think they're going to start out strong. I think they go up to Buffalo and upset them at home in Orchard Park. Give me the Ravens here in week 1. I think Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry are going to establish themselves early and often. And I think that this Baltimore defense is an absolute force to be reckoned with. I know the Bills feel like on paper they improved defensively, but I think Baltimore week 1 gets it done in Buffalo.
All right, the next game.
The real game of the week.
Lock of the week.
The real game of the week.
My lock of the week include the Bengals favored by 5.5 as they head to Cleveland to play the Browns. My lock of the week is the Browns. The Browns don't lose to the Bengals at home.
Of course, your lock of the week.
And I fully believe the Browns will win this game because the Bengals just can't beat the Browns in Cleveland. That's as simple as that.
Challenge
I don't know what
impossible.
Kind of dark magic they have there at Huntington Bank Field, or whatever Lake Erie going on there.
It's called Lake Erie for a reason, all right? Why do you think that? Because it's Erie.
Joe Burrow looks pedestrian against the Browns every time they play. So my lock of the week for week 1 will be the Cleveland Browns.
It's all right. I knew you were going to hold out on your lock of the week for the Browns.
Yup.
It's okay. It's understandable. Hear me out. The Browns, of course. I agree. I think the Browns win this game because week 1 against the Bengals, specifically at home, it doesn't have to be week 1, but against the Bengals at home, we just always seem to beat them, and it doesn't matter how bad or how good we are. I think we're a little bit better than bad, but we're not good. So give me the Browns at home. Bengals are 5.5-point favorites. I don't understand it. Have they watched us at home against Cincinnati? We're a totally different team at home against Cincinnati. Literally, if we played all our home games and it was just against the Bengals, I think the Browns would be a top 5 team in the league. But I digress from that.
You guys might lose like 1 game.
Exactly. Now, I think the Browns are going to start off the season pretty good. I think having Flacco come in at home, there's nothing much else I can really say. If it's like we're bad, we're bad. Who else wouldn't have guessed it? But if we play Cincinnati at home and win, of course, it always happens.
Hey,
I don't know what else to really say. Yes, at least I got the Buckeyes. At least I have the Buckeyes. The real game of the weekend. No, I'm just...
Rambling. Shout out the Tigers.
Shout out the Tigers and shout out their TikToks as well. They seem really impressed there.
All right. Last game. Detroit Lions head to Lambeau Field to play the Green Bay Packers. The Packers are favored by 2.5.
We know you're picking Detroit. Just say it, okay?
Yeah, I'm picking the Lions. I'm never gonna pick the Packers.
Exactly.
Fuck that team.
Watch your language, sir. This is a family-friendly show.
That's how real adults talk. Sorry, frick the Packers. Is that better?
Yes. Thank you.
And I'll legitimately give like some sort of. I know the Lions' biggest question marks will be the two coordinators, but they're gaining so much talent back from that defense. Overall, I think it'll be a top unit in the NFL defensive wise. They have one of the best safety duos, young safety duos in all of the NFL. They have a really solid linebacker duo or linebacker core. Their corners are the big question mark, but DJ Reed is good, and Terry and Arnold needs to take that next step up, and the defensive line will be fine. Aleem McNeil will be back probably week 6, week 7. But Tyleik Williams, the rookie from OSU, will step in. DJ Reader, obviously Aiden Hutchinson's coming back, and he's going to be, on vengeance. And Marcus Davenport will probably get hurt on the first play of the game, like he does every single year because the buddy can't stay healthy, but we keep re-signing him. And with the Packers, I think that in all honesty, I do think Micah Parsons will be on somewhat of a snap count. I mean, he's been there for like 5 minutes in Green Bay.
You're probably right, yeah.
I would be surprised if he plays the whole game because he doesn't know the playbook in the defense quite yet.
Did Rob Gronkowski as a tight end know the plays in New England?
Injections is really a thing. Then I do think he'll be on the snap count, but he will play. This is going to be, I mean, not whoever wins this game is going to win the division, but it's going to, because it's only one game and it's week 1. But these are the two teams who will be battling it out for the North. I don't think it's going to be the Bears, and I don't think it's going to be the Vikings. These are the best two teams in the North, and this is going to be a fun game and a stressful game to watch.
Yes.
But yeah, I'll pick the Lions.
Who wouldn't have guessed that?
So
this game is in Lambeau Field, correct?
Yep, it's at Lambeau. The game in Detroit's on Thanksgiving, so really good Thanksgiving game.
Really good Thanksgiving game. Typically a game Detroit loses. Makes sense. So for this one, I think I got Green Bay. I have Green Bay winning this game. I think at home in Lambeau Field, I feel like, to be fair, this could be a massive letdown. This could be a massive letdown game for the fans too, because the hype of Micah Parsons coming in, you have all of that. You would hate to go in there and make everyone sad, right? It would. It would absolutely shatter my heart even more than Aaron Lobenstein's. Okay, it would.
Those spoiled ass fans that don't ever see anything bad with their football team, and it's in the middle of nowhere. Why do we have a team in Green Bay?
It's like if we had a team
nowhere.
It's like if you had a football team in, Kokomo, Illinois.
In like Tucson, Arizona. Actually, not even Tucson's a bigger.
Findlay, Ohio.
Lima. Lima, Ohio. The Lima Packers, because that will be the equivalent. It is because Green Bay has absolutely nothing. There's nobody there. It's just bars, cheese, beer, and big stadium.
I think the Packers win this game. I think that the hype rolling in here with Micah Parsons coming into town, the offense is sort of revamped, adding more weapons for Jordan Love to throw to with the 75 different wide receiver 2s on roster.
Someone's got to step up at some point.
I think Jordan Love gets a lot of hate and a lot of love. No pun intended. Depends on who you're talking to. But I think Jordan Love's. I mean, he's still a really good quarterback, man. Granted, I don't know if he's worth the $56 million he's getting paid a year or whatever.
Absolutely not. He hasn't proven anything.
But I think the Packers get this game from Detroit in Week 1. Shout out Josh Jacobs. He's going to run over everybody. Shout out Detroit.
The Lions have a really good rush defense.
That doesn't matter, okay? That doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's going to be a pick 'em.
Josh Jacobs is going to run for 200 yards on your defense.
You said how much?
200 yards.
Oh, yeah. Totally.
He is.
Yeah. Jahmyr Gibbs runs for 500 then. I mean, because they have G backups up the middle.
It's all right. I have
Rashawn
both
Gary
of them.
and Micah Parsons.
I have both of them in 2 different fantasy leagues, so I hope they both dominate this game. All right.
I'm so mad you picked Gibbs, dude. I was so mad.
Yeah, for the record, everyone, before we get out of here today, in our fantasy draft,
Justin Jefferson.
in our league,
disappointing pick ever.
Spencer has this league, right? He had the 5th pick, I had the 4th pick, and I said with my pick, of course, I need to have a running back. So I had to pick Jahmyr Gibbs, the pick ahead of him. And the face that this man made was so sad. He was a sad man that day because he had to take another elite athlete in his NFC North.
The best receivers in the game, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, because Jahmyr Gibbs was taken 4th overall instead. Yeah, does that show that maybe I'm the bad picker because I chose Jahmyr Gibbs over Jay Jettis? Or is it the fact that J.J. McCarthy is out there being a cheerleader instead for Minnesota, so...
Who knows how he's going to do. We'll find a lot out about this on this Monday night game.
We'll find out a lot about all these teams this week, just like you all will at home.
Football's back, y'all.
Football's back, and before we get to go watch these games this weekend, you know what you guys should do? You should hit the subscribe button one more time. You should share this channel to everyone you know. You got to help make the growing bigger.
Also, send Twitter DMs to Scott Harris. He is the president of baseball operations for the Tigers, and tell him go get some starters and go sign some guys because the Tigers have Scooball and then nothing.
He found a way to put a curveball.
So it doesn't matter.
He found a curveball to throw this in here for us at this beautiful football show.
He should learn to throw ambidextrous.
That's all right.
Righty, so.
You know what you also should do? You should DM Spencer and tell him he is so smart. He is a smart individual. You should DM him on his Instagram. _
Dude, I don't even use
Spencer
Instagram hardly.
Gallup _ or whatever it is. It's pretty close to that. You'll find his name. And then you can DM me, BNB Logan, to tell me how well I know Toledo games. Like, I just knew Kentucky was going to win that. I love Toledo, but I just knew Kentucky was going to win.
That's not like a super hot take.
Like, I knew South Florida was beating Boise State.
Played an FCS
I knew the Bulls were beating the Broncos. I called it. I knew it. I'm him, as they say. No,
congrats on lukewarm takes. Not even hot takes. They're lukewarm.
You want to talk about lukewarm
We're
takes?
barely lukewarm, too.
If we want lukewarm takes, we would bring back our partner in crime. All right, this show we're losing control here, but before we lose more control, subscribe. Anyway, we'll see y'all next week, or maybe earlier. We'll have to see. Take care. Peace out.